the 8-Bit Cat Show, a place where friends geek out over the nerdy things we love, sometimes with cats. Mr. Kitty is here, and if you looked carefully, you would have seen Bella's butt. I'm your host, Stephanie Katz. With us tonight is Zay.
Hey, that's me.
That's you. So ignore my Christmas tree. I've had the plague. So Christmas is still here in this house.
So that explains the voice and the Christmas trees.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So we're here. Please bear with me as I occasionally die.
Glad we don't subtitle these because that'd be hard to subtitle.
Unalived. I guess let's start off.
With welcome
these
to 2024.
these aren't in. These are almost in the order that we watched them. Almost.
We
I
finally
think I don't know. So
we took some time over Christmas break and while she was sick, because she got me sick too. Thanks a lot.
I did not.
A little bit.
You have a mild cough. You didn't get to plague.
I said a little bit. But I got to take a day. I got sick enough that I got to take a day off work. So we sat and we watched a little. Caught up on a couple of things that we'd missed over 2023. Some of the big touchstones that everybody was telling us to do that we were probably not going to do just out of spite. Um,
No, we just
no, I'm kidding. We just didn't have the time. We finally had some time to watch some stuff. So what did we watch?
I guess first let's talk about some Doctor Who.
We watched some Doctor Who. That's true.
We may revisit Doctor Who and do a more lengthy special with the whole gang, but for right now, let's just talk about the specials.
So it ended up there were four of them, right? If I remember correctly, that came out. Was it four or three?
The 60th was a three-parter.
Three-parter, and then they had the Christmas special for with Shruti.
Yeah,
Mr. Shruti.
I'm a little disappointed because I thought there would be a lot more NPH, and there was only one episode with NPH.
No, I guess that sort of makes sense to me. He's not a like master level villain. So generally they give them about one arc, maybe sometimes two. I guess he's sort of
He's a returning villain.
yeah, from the 60s.
Right, which is why I feel like they could have given him more time.
I don't know. I thought they wrapped up his story. Okay.
Or you keep talking, I have to blow my nose.
Oh my lord. We can just wait for you. It's okay.
He didn't want to be messed with. He shouldn't be wagging his tail at.
All right, she's back. I will say I thought I liked the episode with Neil Patrick Harris. I think he did. I mean, he does a great job playing a villain and a crazy person. He did a good job with that. Um, kind of a fun thing, but I think it made sense. And really, I guess he started in the second episode. In the second episode, he was the second and third episode, kind of the
No.
special.
He, he didn't show up until the last one with NVH because the bi-generation. And then the Christmas special was all him. But specifically for the 60th, he was only in the last, 10 minutes of the last episode.
I guess I didn't have a problem with that because they set him up for the Christmas special, and
Well, I'm fine with that. I just wish.
You wanted more Neil Patrick Harris. You just like Neil Patrick Harris.
I mean, I'm glad with how they resolved the whole Donna thing, and I think the first episode was perfectly fine. The second episode didn't quite hit for me.
I'm trying to remember what happened in the second episode.
That was the one where they went to the spaceship that was on the edge of the universe, and it had the weird copy aliens.
I thought that was kind of fun too, though. Honestly,
Yes, it was very Doctor Who.
it was a little slower of the two of the episodes. It was slower, but it was the middle arc. It was getting you to the next part, kind of thing like that
And if
too.
this Mavity thing goes on, I can't.
I think it's hilarious personally.
See, the problem is I've already seen so many memes online that I'm over it.
Because I hadn't really seen any of that, but I just I guess I'm only really getting it in the show was freaking hilarious.
But yeah, I mean, and like the gag will go on and on the show, but it's one of those things where like the fan base clearly latched onto it immediately, and like I've seen already, like they basically there was a whole post where they took like any movie that had the word gravity in it and changed it to Mavity, so like defying Mavity,
Sandra Bullock in Mavity.
Mavity, yeah, and I was like, okay, I'm over this right now.
No, I love it. I want to go to the fair and ride on the Mavitron.
Over it.
Oh Lord. I don't know. I think my favorite part of the whole especially the bi generation thing, which is new and weird and kind of dumb, but did help them write them way out of a corner to really wrap that all up nicely in a bow. Uh Shooty Godwin just running around in his underoos is hilarious.
They were technically David Tennant's
That's
underoos.
the even better part is the funny part is David Tennant is definitely commando under his suit pants.
I
If
mean,
we're
maybe
going with the
not in
logic,
real life, but
I know, but if we're going with the logic of it,
14 was definitely
oh, he's part of the special forces because he's rolling commando for sure.
for sure. Mm.
Also, that he still has like a wife beater under his. He's got his undershirt
Yeah.
underneath his. Well, because he wears an undershirt under all of his stuff. So he got the undershirt and the suit jacket, and Shooty gets the.
And the shoes.
Shooty got the pants, right? Or the socks, right?
Yeah, you got his shoes. Yes, David Tennant was barefoot.
Yes. No, he was completely barefoot. He didn't even have socks. Socks and shoes rolled over. I guess that's why they're also. I guess that's somehow that they're. That's also them retroactively explaining that David Tennant. That's why he showed up in his own clothes when he regenerated from 13th Doctor from Jodie Whittaker. I guess they're going to continue from now on. His next new regenerations are going to regenerate. Well, clothed, if not fully clothed.
I mean, they've always been clothed.
Yeah, but they're normally wearing the previous Doctor's clothes.
Shuti was technically wearing the previous Doctor's
No, just
clothes.
half of them. You're okay. All right. Maybe they're rolling it back. They're rolling it back. I don't know. It seemed that all seemed dumb. I think it would have been hilarious to see David Tennant in some capris and overalls.
Well, I mean, maybe the only thing I can think is like because Jodie is so much smaller that they may not have been able to effectively,
Translate the look is what you're saying.
yeah.
I guess they theoret like I guess the given reason was they didn't want anyone to be considered cross dressing, but that wasn't an issue when Peter Capaldi turned into Jodie Whittaker because she wore his clothes.
I don't think that.
That
Who
was
said
no,
that?
that was actually like that was the in the quote. That's why they did it that way.
Okay, well
And
that's
it
you
seems
know.
dumb because I know David Tennant doesn't have any problem wearing women's clothing, and she was already wearing clothes that wasn't necessarily super girly. So it seems like a non-argument, but just say it's a stylistic choice and go from there. Don't try and make it some argument like that. We just wanted to do it. Well, that changes things. So what? Things change.
Yeah,
It's rough. What are you gonna do? But I'm excited for Shooty. Dude's freaking hilarious. Um,
I enjoyed his kilt.
the kilt was solid. It's pretty dope. Not gonna lie. He can dance. It's fun. I like his companion so far. I'm interested to see where I want to know
Ruby.
I want to know what's wrong with her and how it's going to affect the universe and make it wrong as well because there's definitely something weird that's going to go on there for sure. And
She
it's
was
always what
eaten
happens.
by goblins.
Like I said, that's always what happens. Is something weird happens, but I want to know something's she's apparently a bane of coincidence. The goblin thing was pretty funny. The whole musical number was unexpected.
It's creepy. I felt like I was in a bad episode of Fraggle Rock.
Uh,
Am I wrong though?
no. Or just like I don't know, really early DreamWorks maybe.
Maybe.
Them trying to when they were really going hard into ripping off Disney, but making it quote unquote more fun.
Mm, yeah, but they were puppets, so I think Fraggle Rock still stands.
Are they puppets? I thought they were more CGI.
Some, so I think some of them were. I mean, they might not have all been puppets,
Hmm.
but for sure the Goblin King was. For sure the band was, and maybe a couple of the other like close up ones.
I really thought they were all CGI throughout.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen anything official.
Hmm.
I'm just saying they look like puppets to me.
I thought they had just upped the budget considerably for this series of specials, which they definitely did. This is some of the best visual effects they've had in Doctor Who in a long time, because that generally they don't really care about that as much because it's
I
more about the
was I
storytelling.
was
But
just really glad that we got like quote unquote new villains. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a Dalek story or a Cyberman story or what's the other one that always comes up?
I mean, there's a bunch of recurring villains. We took in the Zygons. We talk in um,
Like
the
if you had to name the big three.
I mean, it's Dalek, Cybermen, and Sontarans, maybe. Those are probably the most frequently recurring. I'm trying to think of
Well, the point I'm trying to
hmm,
make is it was like yeah, the toy master,
Toymaker.
toy maker. Like he was an old villain that came back, but it was like it was fresh because he hadn't.
Well,
It's not something that like anyone had thought about in
50,
60
60
years.
years, roughly.
Yeah.
So I believe, yeah, he was a villain from like the first season, I think. If I remember correctly, it was like 62. It was
And
like, it
man, you
was,
called that meat being evil.
oh, I knew the Meep was going to be evil. Come on. Nothing
It's
can be
too
that cute.
cute.
Nothing can be that cute. That was also 14's first reaction was, that's too cute. I don't like it. Something's got to be wrong. And it was for sure.
For sure.
It looks super creepy when it went into evil mode, though. It freaked me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Furbies.
About Furbies.
Yeah, Furbies are the devil.
You know, the federal government would generally agree with you. I think. Let's see. Well, dang it, they don't have the specials in the. I was trying to look at
You had to give it some
the
time.
Christmas special. Apparently counts in the as being part of the series on IMDb for Doctor
Well,
Who,
that's typically how it
but the
goes.
60th anniversary special did not count.
Oh.
Yes.
So is it gonna be on the Jody DVDs?
I'm not sure. I think it might be. They're probably going to set it out on its own thing. They did the same thing, I think, with the 50th anniversary special.
No, they didn't. It's on one of those. We watched
Was it
it.
on Matt Smith's? Oh,
Yeah, because that's the one where the War Doctor and
yeah.
10. Yeah, it's on there.
Buddy, buddy, buddy.
He's loving. And now we have to wait until the springtime.
Yeah, but at least we only have to wait till the springtime.
Yeah. Let's see. We also watched Across the Spiderverse.
Finally. I believe that movie came out in 2022.
Yeah, I'm slightly annoyed that there's like a whole another one coming. Like, I don't feel like it needed to be a trilogy. I feel like you could have wrapped that story up.
I will say that depends on where they go in the third one.
Well, yeah, now it's gonna be this whole thing about Miles and m- evil Miles.
Spider-Man 2099. Miguel. Miguel. Hey, Miguel.
His name was still Miles.
No. Oh no, you're talking about the other evil Miles. Miguel is definitely Miguel. The Spider-Man 2099 is definitely going to come back. But you're talking about no.
Evil
Yeah,
Miles.
I got you. I like that they're voiced by two different guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Um really makes it stick a little better that they're different characters. But yeah, like I said, I it really depends on where they go with the third one. I think first one was still stronger story wise. Second one, I think they upped the visuals and it was even more stunning, and they leaned fully into the Spider-Man and how ridiculous and campy it was, especially on Spider World.
Yeah.
I loved that. There was a little bit there was so much packed in there. I need to watch it like three more times to try and figure out what all I missed. Um, but I don't know. I'm actually really excited for the third one. Um, I'm with you. It felt like when they ended it, you're like, no, well, why did you end it here? There's so much more. And then I'm like, oh, because you're gonna have a whole another 2 hour long movie after this. And
Yeah.
at least we don't have to wait as long as other people because we waited so damn long to watch this movie. The next one's coming out next year. It'll be nice and quick. We didn't have to wait 2 years. We're only waiting like 1 year,
I
even
guess.
less. So, I mean,
And
we
yeah.
really did mess up waiting so long to see it though. But somehow still I didn't really I still I've had basically no spoilers from that whatsoever, and I have no idea how I managed to go that long without having anything.
I don't know.
But I don't know. I liked it. Again, absolutely visually stunning. It was insane. Their animators, they completely animated in completely different styles. I think it's five different worlds, six different worlds that with a completely different style.
Mhm.
Oh, it was so well done. It's just they are taking animation to places that hasn't been seen in a long time. It's really encouraging for to me as somebody who loves animation that to see them really making strides like that. Going back to the people are drawing this shit and actually drawing it. I mean, a lot of it's also computer done and everything like that too. But like the watercolor one that they did with Gwen Stacy's world was just so good.
Mhm.
I'm excited to see what they do in the third one because I feel like it's going to have a whole nother new visual style as well, and that's what they've just broken the mold on every single one of these, and it's going to be. I can't wait.
Yeah, I give it 7 cats.
Yeah, I'd probably go 7-2 just because again I was a little disappointed. I'm like I want more right now, and it's not there. So it feels incomplete as it should because it's a trilogy, and I reserve the right to change my score after seeing part three because I think that could make part two even better.
Sure.
All right, you're gonna allow that?
If you even remember.
Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Who knows? Check back.
Um, and then the big highlight of the summer, we finally got around to watching a Barbie.
Speaking of Shooty Gatwa,
He was only in it for like 5 minutes.
and I loved every second he was in there. He had real Kinergy. Real Kinergy. Um, Overall, just absolutely fantastic. There's a reason it's going to win a ton of different awards. It's shot well. It's written well. It has a decent message. It's heartwarming and funny at times. Though the worst part is America Ferrera
Really?
and her kid. I don't even remember the kid's name. That's how much she annoyed me. The kid annoyed the shit out of me. Yeah, you don't remember it either because she wasn't really. It didn't really end up being important. But I do love the kid because
Samantha?
yeah, that sounds right. I don't. My favorite part though, I will say she was directly responsible for my favorite joke in this entire movie. And it's the dumbest, I think it's a dumb joke, but it's both super deep and extremely shallow and could just be a non sequitur, but is also could be one of the deepest things in it. When she calls Barbie a fascist and Barbie starts crying and goes, how could she call me a fascist? I'm not a fascist. I don't control the trains or the means of production or the flow of production. And it's both on the top, just funny because that's like the most naive take of fascism ever. But it also makes sense because while Barbie is extremely intelligent, she is only allowed to get the G-rated stuff that comes into Barbie world. So yeah, those are probably the two biggest reasons or two biggest things fascists were known for in Barbie land because they can't tell you all the awful other awful, awful things that were those guys were doing. Uh, but it's both naive and extremely, and but also shows that she is extremely intelligent. But she's working from a limited data set,
Yeah.
and I love I'm not you control the trains or the flow of production. I'm like that's fucking amazing, and I don't know why, but I think that's my favorite joke of the entire fucking movie.
I've liked Margot Robbie just in general through this whole thing. Like for every press junket and award show and everything, she's always like stylized some sort of like callback to a like retro Barbie outfit. It's it's been
Her
fun.
publicist and what is it? It's not makeup; it's the other person. Wardrobe team has done a fantastic job on that. Again, I really hope it does win a bunch of awards. It's finally gotten nominated for a bunch.
Well,
Did it?
Margot Robbie just won the Golden Globe for.
Oh yeah. The one I'm actually looking for, which was weird. They actually just recently changed for the Academy Awards. They changed the designation of the screenplay for Barbie. It was originally nominated for Best Original Screenplay, and now they've actually changed it to be Best Adapted Screenplay, which basically means that they did enough improvisation on set that it wasn't technically this it was far enough away from the original screenplay that was submitted that it can't go
Well,
in the
that
original
wasn't yeah,
screenplay.
that wasn't even the original. Like Amy Schumer was supposed to be like the head of this project, and I'm honestly really glad that she.
It's not involved.
Yeah,
I think Greta Gerwig did a great job. Um,
like
but
nothing against her. I'm just not a big Amy Schumer fan to begin with.
the amount of work it takes for me to find something I enjoy in her work is not worth the effort. I can find stuff in there that I have enjoyed. She's done some very good things. Generally more her writing credits. She writes for other people much better, I think, than she writes for herself, and it's kind of sad.
Well, she wrote the original script for the Barbie movie,
Well, that's what I'm
and
saying.
they wanted to change so much that she walked away from the project.
I don't know. Like I said, I believe. And now that you say that, I actually didn't know that. But now that you say that, there's definitely some of the bits in there that you can tell were some Amy Schumer stuff. Um, but I don't know. Like I said, I think it deserves to do some great things. Margot Robbie obviously is probably the perfect casting choice for Barbie. Even though, and I love again nice little meta nods in the movie, uh, like the one where the narrator comes on and if you want to make this point drive a little better, that you don't have to be perfect. Maybe don't cast Margot Robbie in the movie.
That was funny. Yeah, I really want to see the outtakes because I bet they're
Oh, there's got to be
hilarious.
if there's a blooper reel, it's got to be fantastic. We're gonna have to go on YouTube and look for that later because I'm sure it's there.
I'm sure it'll be on the DVD.
Oh, we're buying the DVD. We're gonna buy
Probably.
some physical media. We got to do it now before Best Buy gets rid of all of it.
It's soon on Amazon.
I know, but dude, that's the next big that's a big story there. Best Buy's getting rid of all of their physical media. They're not going to sell it anymore.
I mean, it makes sense.
Oh, I
I
mean,
mean, they probably you mean they won't sell on stores, but it'll still like be online.
most likely yes, but yeah, they won't have it in the
I
store.
mean, even when for the short time I worked there, like, cause I remember growing up, like Best Buy's media section was like rows and rows of like
Like
CDs,
90% of the store, yes.
and then like when I worked there, what 2 years ago, it was like one little back and front gondola.
Yeah, like I said, they'd already cut it down way, way, way
And
down.
you know
But
what else that's gonna help with? Loss prevention. Do you know how many people fucking steal stupid shit like that?
yeah, it's a lot easier to steal a DVD than it is to steal a TV. Throw that out there for sure. But you know, we might actually have to pick up a physical copy of that just to get some bonus features.
Mm.
Hey, or we go back on
And I
HBO and see if
think
they
that
got any.
Simu Limu, is that his name? Is that how you say it? Guy that played Shang-Chi.
I know who you're talking about. Do I actually know how to pronounce that properly?
I think it's
No,
Simu.
it's Simu. My problem is I, I always mess up his last name because it's not Limu. kind of looks like it, but I know it's not that. That's why I feel like a jerk.
My bad.
Because I
But
love
yeah,
him. He's
look,
great in actually his first role in um was it Chang's Convenience? Yeah, it's Chang's Convenience. He's great. He's the estranged older brother, and that's where he really got his first role besides stock photography model.
but yeah, I think he did a really. I really like the rivalry of the Kens. I'm gonna beat you off.
Beach off, beat you off first. Yeah, that was all a little awkward on that one too, but quite funny. Simu
I
Liu.
enjoyed it.
I think it's Liu.
Liu,
Liu. It's not Limu. Simu Limu. He's not the
Liberty Bibbity.
he's not the Limu Emu.
Well, I gave it 8.
Oh, it was absolutely fantastic. I give it an appropriate do you ever think about death 7? Do you guys ever just think about death?
No, it's. Do you ever think about dying?
Or do you ever think about oh yeah, and sense of impending doom Barbie, yes.
The cellulite.
Cellulite Barbie was pretty good too.
Man, if my feet were like this, I'd never wear heels. When she's walking up the stairs to go see Weird Barbie.
Yeah.
Kate McKinnon as Weird Barbie definitely
Chef's kiss.
hit for me.
Oh, let her play absolutely butt knonkers insane, and she's going to nail it every time. Her Egon was actually pretty solid too. She was still Egon technically, right?
Yeah,
They
yes.
still have the same last names, didn't they? In the
No,
reboot,
no,
Ghostbusters.
no.
What was her name?
I don't know.
You don't know. Her character in Ghostbusters was the only redeeming part of that movie.
Kate McKinnon,
Was the well,
Egon character.
yeah, well, like I said, her character was the only redeeming part of the movie, besides maybe Chris Hemsworth and the beautiful himbo he
This is
is.
me listening to this.
Again, just ridiculous enough to work. But no, Kate McKinnon being an absolute nut job. That is always the right choice. Let her. You got a problems with it? No, just let it go.
Weird Barbie. That happens from playing too hard.
Fix it in the edit. Why is she always in the splits? No, good times.
If any girl ever tells you they didn't have a wheel Barbie, they're either really old, so they had the original Barbies, or they're
Every girl had a weird Barbie, and at least 3 headless Kens.
lying. I never had any headless Kens.
How long did you have any Kens?
I had 2 Kens.
You,
Actually, I had a Ken and an Alan.
you had an
I
Alan?
had an Alan.
I didn't know Alan was a thing. Alan's a thing.
But see, for and this is what threw me off because I'll be honest, for the longest time I thought that dude's name was Brian, but I definitely had an Alan.
I don't think there's a Brian. I think there's Ken and Ken's friend Alan.
Well, for whatever reason, I his name was Brian to
Apparently,
me.
there's also Sugar's daddy, Ken.
Yeah. Oh man, and when Midge showed up, I was like, oh fuck, I remember Midge. That was some weird fucking shit. Mattel was right to discontinue that one.
I like that they basically even said, "We don't talk about her. Stop looking at her, Mitch. You're not supposed to be here. We don't need this. Stop it,
Stop it.
Skipper. You're okay." What is Barbie's little sister's name? The little one, because there's Skipper, which is the teenage one, and then there's like the 9-year-old one. Who's 9-year-old Barbie?
I know.
You know who I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah, but by the time that came out, that was like towards the end of my Barbie playing days, so I wasn't paying too much attention.
Oh, maybe my sister's just a sociopath because all of her kins, I think, except for one, no longer had their heads.
You know, all my Kens, well, my one my Ken and my Brian, my Brian Allen, Allen Brian,
Brian Allen sounds more.
Brian
Yeah,
Allen.
Brian Allen sounds like more
Yeah,
like a joke.
they both had heads.
Yeah, I don't know. My sister popped all the heads off of hers. I think.
I only
I don't
had
know.
one Barbie that lost her head,
I didn't
and
even know the Barbie's heads came out.
it was because me and my sister were fighting over her, and her head just popped.
She had some Barbies with some real bad hair.
Oh yeah, because every little girl gave their Barbies a haircut. That's why like the weird Barbie Kate McKinnon with
That,
the weird hair
that's why they came out with the Barbie that's hair grew back.
didn't really grow back.
There was a spool of it inside her head, and you can pull out more.
But eventually,
You ran out of hair, yes, and then you had bald Barbie. But bald is beautiful, and it's okay. I will say, my sister definitely did have the actual like roller skate Barbie with the sparking skates, and that is definitely a fire hazard waiting to happen.
I feel like I might have. I don't. I
I think
had.
the weirdest
I
one I think
had.
she had
I
was
literally had a tote of Barbies, so it's really hard for me to remember. The only two that really stick out to me is I got when they first came out with the ballerina Barbie that actually had
like did the splits,
opposable,
yeah, and like could do
no,
the
like the
uppers.
opposable legs where you could actually like they had the joints
The
you could,
knees bent, yes.
yeah, and she had the crown and you could make her do pirouettes. And when they first came out with basically would hold her waist and you could push her and her legs would actually move like she was walking.
That's pretty fancy. Weirdest one I think my sister had was the one with the suction cups on her feet and hands. So she was like gymnastics Barbie. Like you could stick her to your windows.
Yeah, I didn't
I
have that.
remember specifically the commercial for it because they stuck her to the bottom of a glass patio table. And we had happened to have a glass patio table, so we immediately tried that out when she got that Barbie. It worked. Duck. It's good stuff. I will say the dream houses were great, but not as good as the Mojo Dojo Casa houses.
Mojo Dojo Casa. Yeah, I had a dream house. My dream house had an elevator though.
So did theirs.
No, it didn't.
They just didn't use the elevator.
No, it didn't.
Well, my sisters had the elevator too then.
Yeah, in the movie they didn't show. They showed they had the one where she would walk around and it didn't explain how she got to the next level, and then it had the slide that went from that level to the ground. But yeah, mine for sure had an elevator. Again, you put the Barbie in and then you would pull the little cord so
And
it would,
yeah, no,
yeah.
yeah, no. I definitely, yeah, my sister had the same one. I don't know. We'll have to go look at I'll look up the trivia on this one. They may have been. You may have. They maybe have been using either a later because hers didn't have a slide. I don't think.
Well, not all of them did. Mine didn't have a slide.
That's what I'm saying.
But
I
I'm saying
think
the one specifically in the movie that was
I
featured,
want to know what model they were using on that one. Like if that was either an earlier model or
it
a
was
more recent
definitely
model.
a later model.
It was a more recent model.
Yeah, for sure. Because back when I had the Barbie dream house, it was like pretty much made of like cardboard
Yeah.
and like plastic pillars to hold it up. But like the ones nowadays, like is pretty much mostly plastic.
Well, the other one seems more sustainable and easier to pack.
And like that bitch was like 3 feet tall.
It was big. I was impressed. I never had any thing. I never got the He-Man set to play with, but she had a Barbie Dreamhouse. I'm
I
still a little
had the I
jealous.
had the Shira Crystal Castle
Of
too.
course she did. What do we got next?
Good Omens too.
Good Omens 2. We did finally finish the second season of Good Omens. While the whole season was absolutely fantastic, I was emotionally devastated by the end.
Me too.
Emotionally devastated.
Emotionally. How could they do this to us?
All right, so we're going. You guys know already on this show, it's full spoilers. Once we started talking about it, but I don't really don't feel bad about this one either because
It's
again, it ended
definitely
last
been
year.
out for, well, it ended this year, but
Last year.
uh, yeah,
It's
sure.
2024, homie. Yeah, what are you gonna do? But so I think we're safe doing that. How did they not end up together? I mean, I know it's because they want to do season three and things are they gotta figure out how to do it and blah 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 blah. But they literally showed you,
Because only one set of angel demon debauchery got to be happy.
yeah, and that shows me that you can. It's just fine and you can do it, but they didn't do it. Metatron always screws everything up.
But we did get a steamy kiss. It's very passionate.
It was well done. Well, both fantastic
Again, I
actors.
want to see the outtakes.
Uh, I don't know how either of them kept a straight face because they are. I mean, they are. Well, I know how they did keep a straight face. They're both extremely accomplished and talented actors. But it's got to be so weird because they are such good friends. just to actually do that, it's funny. I know they were probably comfortable with it and everything like that, and it's done well, but it just I know if I was Michael Sheen in that situation and David Tennant's coming in, I'm doing some weird shit just to try and throw him off, at least for a couple takes. You know Michael Sheen was going fucking with him. And you know David tried to slip him the tongue one time just to get a reaction.
Probably.
So yes, that is another one that I think the bloopers on that would be absolutely fantastic. But I really liked in the last episode of it how they came back around and how really everything that happened in the season was all really set up right before it, and they showed all the setup and did everything like that, and where all that shit came together. Um, I thought it was really sweet, but again, just so sad. Crowley deserves love. Also, again, great throwaway joke. That fact that, yeah, I wasn't always a demon, and they never changed their passwords. You can't get it. He goes, yeah, I was basically number two.
Yeah,
I'm good.
that's
I'm
funny.
gonna throw this in here real quick. I had the flaming sword.
That was funny. I really enjoyed it. Oh.
I am I boring you. I'm sorry.
The last thing we watched was Rebel Moon Child of Fire. Is that what was the sub?
Rebel Moon, part one. Um, Gosh, it is a ridiculous name. Let me make sure I do this right. Rebel Moon, part one, A Child of Fire. Yes.
And this was the film. This was basically Zack Snyder's Star Wars.
Yeah, this is what he did basically instead of Star Wars, and he basically tried to mash Star Wars and Seven Samurai,
And Dune. I was getting Dune
Little Dune, and
vibes.
then definitely Little Warhammer
Yeah.
all into one thing, and
I think we mentioned Foundation too. If you have Apple TV and you've watched Foundation, I was getting Foundation vibes.
a little bit, visually a little bit for sure. Um, I had the weirdest time with this movie because when we watched this movie, I was completely engaged. I didn't want to look at my phone at all. I was fully in watching the whole thing, and then
But you walked away with a sense of
like right,
unsatisfaction,
I was not satisfied with the movie at all.
right? Like that's the word I'm
I
looking
was dissatisfied. I had a sense of longing for not what I'm not would not, still not even sure. Honestly, it
for. And it's
was
like I get that he was doing a two-parter. Like they made that clear going in that this was part one. But it was like the way they wrapped up part one was like you could have just resolved the movie here and you didn't.
that was see that there's I think where my argument comes in because like even after the movie immediately finished, I'm like, oh, that was great. My immediate reaction was, I liked that. That was fun. It was a good romp. It had some great stuff in it. Good action. Solid. That was a good movie. And then 10 minutes later, I'm sitting there going, I don't know if I like that movie. Just because it was like it should have been the first third of one movie and been either it needed to be way less or way more.
And the storyline was super predictable.
And I mean, like I knew that, like again, like you said, that they knew that they were going that it was going to be two-parter. They already had the contract for that. They did everything like that.
Right.
But
And I
if
get that
this
they wanted to set up because they wanted to use part one to really establish the characters, but you ended up killing half the characters you
Well, they were
established.
trying to establish the universe, really, is what I think they're trying to do here. But the real problem was, like, he wants it to be his Star Wars, but
It's not Star
Star Wars
Wars,
was
bro.
actually, well, George Lucas has changed his tune seven times, and he's pretty much always said that he had the first three movies, or the first three chapters
He
in
had the
mind.
whole concept laid out, but he knew that four, five, and six is what was gonna hit.
Again, he's changed his tune on that a couple times, but as far as it goes back, he's basically always said that the original four, five, and six, he's pretty consistent on that he had those in his head. But he also only ever thought that he was ever going to get the first one. So he made a great movie because he's like, this might be the only one I ever get. And so he made a movie full through, did everything like that, and then that's why they got a second movie. if they didn't already have this confirmed that he was gonna that Zack Snyder was gonna get two movies, that it was gonna be two parts, they were gonna film them concurrent, back to back, and release them back to back, kind of thing like that. The second movie would never have been made after the first one came out.
Well, but if he wasn't guaranteed the second one, he may have written the first one differently.
And I think it would have been a better movie had he gone with that in mind. I think it would have been a more that's the problem was because he knew he had like 6 hours to tell this story, he meandered so fucking much.
Yeah, like I didn't. You're so like because I guess you're supposed to identify with the. I don't even fucking remember her name. The short hair chick, the quote unquote main character,
Cora.
Cora. I didn't I didn't feel a connection to her at all.
No, the character I want to know more about.
Is dead.
No, is Anthony Hopkins is a fucking murderous robot that won't murder anybody anymore, and that's definitely
Oh,
going to turn on them later.
oh, the C3PO dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
voiced by Anthony Hopkins,
right.
which always great. But that's the only character in this whole thing that I wanted to know more about. All the other ones, I'm like, fucking die. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Like even because even at the point where it was like, oh man, all the stakes are in or up, whatever. Like I like what am I trying to say?
The stakes are high.
Yeah, like when the shit was about to go down and you're supposed to be like, "Oh my god, what's going to happen?" Like I was like, "Yeah, these people are all going to die." And I was fine with that.
Yeah, I really like yeah, like you said, they spent all this time setting up these stories, and like, oh, you're gonna want to know these people. But they didn't actually. They just went on a fetch quest for like seven different people, didn't tell us anything about them, and then half of those people died.
Yeah.
And so I know in the second movie, at least from the trailer, it looks like they're going to do a lot more flashback stuff. You're going to get some of their backstory, did do some stuff like that. But I wish they had told a more compelling story in the first part to make me actually want to
See,
watch part two
see,
and
that
not make
makes
me
me feel
have to
like
watch part
this.
two.
I feel like he's gonna do a three-parter because there's no way with how he's set this up that you can go and do all of those flashbacks in the second movie and wrap the story up. Because if you're going to spend, unless he's only gonna spend time with Cora, who's like the main
I think that's pretty much what's going to happen. And she's going to have to kill her adopted father that killed the king.
that murdered her entire planet and kidnapped her.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
that started off, but he's also the one
yeah,
that definitely
killed
had
the
the king
king. No, for
assassinated.
sure, one
And so
hundred
she's going
percent.
to have to kill him. That's the whole point.
That's why she. I feel like I think that's why she became disillusioned and like pieced out.
Well, yeah, because she wanted the princess. Well, really, it's because he killed the princess.
Yeah,
If he had let her alone, but he wouldn't have been able to be in power because she would have been in power then.
right. And
So,
she apparently has magic
and
powers.
she's definitely not dead either. So that's the really annoying part.
Yeah.
Am I? Are we? I'm at least I'm 99% certain she ain't dead.
No, like they technically didn't show any dead bodies. And if I've learned anything from Supernatural is if you didn't see it die, I mean, with Supernatural, even when you did see it die, but
Hell,
specifically,
in Rebel Moon, if you didn't see it die, it doesn't count. They brought back the dude that not only did she beat the crap out of, he's bleeding profusely. He's got three broken bones. He's got no teeth left,
yeah,
and he
but
fell from like
see,
900 feet.
that's why I was saying I was getting Foundation vibes because I was like, so this is like one of those things where this isn't an actual like body and they just moved the consciousness. You know what I mean?
That could be one of those possibilities. But yeah, I'm like, it just annoyed the shit out of me. I'm like, that dude should be so dead it's not even funny. And they're like,
Yeah,
nope, he's fine.
yeah, for sure.
Fucking bullshit.
I don't know. I'm feeling like Five Cats because like I get visually stunning. Uh,
Music, the score
the
was
score
great.
was great. Like the actual combat scenes, like I thought were done really, really
Choreographed
well,
well. Yeah.
but the story just sucked.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go four cats. I'm a little lower. I'm about halfway. It's about halfway to a good movie. Because I think it's only half of a good movie. If they had just released, let me sit down for 5 hours on my fucking couch and watch a long ass fucking movie. I'll do it. I don't care at this point. Especially if you're releasing it on streaming and not even in theaters. Make it 5 hours long. I can pause it and go to the bathroom if I need to, and I don't miss anything. Great.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe he didn't do that because of the Justice League cut.
Well, yeah, but probably. But the other thing I had a problem with was he J.J. Abrams this thing. He mystery boxed the fuck out of it. He's got a lot of little boxes with some fun question marks on it. They're like, ooh, I want to know more. And he did the other J.J. Abrams thing where he gave you absolutely no fucking answers. He's like, you can wait till the next one, and then maybe you'll get some answers. And I have a feeling there are going to be some highly disappointing answers. And I'm a little frustrated because I was actually, I one of the guys at work, he had been begging me to watch that movie because he's like, I just want to talk to you about it. I'm like, okay, I trust your judgment. If you want to see, if you think it was that good, I got to see this movie. And when I actually went back and talked to him about it today because I wanted to get some fodder for this tonight, and he's like, "Oh, wasn't it so good?" And I I brought up a couple of the arguments I did today, and I felt bad because I could see the
Was it
excitement.
Josh?
No, it was
Oh,
actually Wes.
oh.
I saw the light of excitement drain from his eyes a little bit, and he goes, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Oh man, fuck! I ruined this movie for you. You wanted to talk about it. It's not my fault." I'm like, but I'm
That's
excited for part two. Maybe it'll fix everything. And he goes, "Yeah, maybe." I'm
oh,
like,
poor
damn it! I
Wes.
totally ruined this.
Poor Wes.
He's got lots of other things going for him. Uh, he didn't need this. I really wanted to like it more. Again, I'm gonna reserve the right to change my answer, but I don't think I will on this one because I think part two will probably
See, but here's my
make it
thing.
better,
Like
but I don't think it will.
with any trilogy, like, and I mean, I'll let you do that. But it's just like I feel like each piece should be able to stand on its own.
I agree. That
Otherwise, why are you making the movie?
and that's why I said that's my biggest fault with this is I don't think it stands on its own. I think it's going to have to really be because of part two,
Like
and it makes me sad.
that was everyone's problem with The Hobbit. Why did you make this three movies? This was unnecessary.
You already did it. They already did it perfectly 40 years before this in animated form. Why are you trying to fuck with that? Because they
Because
did
there
it.
were definitely elements from each movie I liked, but for me, the first one was the only one that can really, quote unquote, stand on its own.
Yeah, you have, the second two you kind of have to watch by themselves, or you have to watch together, or else it doesn't really feel
But even then, it's
story.
like I get through the first one, it's like, oh, well, now the story's not finished,
Yeah, we haven't
and I
even.
don't,
We just met Smaug. What the fuck?
yeah, and it's like I feel like Lord of the like the Two Towers is never gonna be my favorite. It just isn't.
No,
But
I
I
actually
do feel
actually
like
sat.
of the three Lord of the Rings
Two
movies,
Towers the best one.
for me, not personally, but I do feel like that movie can stand on its own.
Oh, 100%. That's one of my. Actually probably my favorite of the three. But because yeah, they all solely stand on their own. And again, and that's what that was my argument with Star Wars. They stand on their own. Even the ones that people don't like that aren't as good, quote unquote, or whatever. Even 7, 8, and 9, while maybe not good movies, are independent, individual movies that can stand as their own. Yet you understand a lot more of them, but you could watch just episode 8 and get enough. You wouldn't really need more. One, two, and three, each individually encapsulated. Again, has more meaning and feels more if you know the other stories, but can stand on their own. They have an arc in each of the films as well. They do lead into the next one and give you a nice, hey, this is where's this going after this? But like you said, the Lord of the Rings, Back to the Future, I think trilogies end up better when 2 and 3 only got greenlit because number one did so goddamn good.
Well, even then, like I have no problem with a trilogy, just like
No, that
if you
I,
just do it right, like make it so that like when I get to the end of the first one, as much as I want to see the second one, like I'm not sitting here going, that was kind of disappointing.
yeah, no,
And
no,
now I have
again,
to watch the second one if I want the complete story.
no, again, that's why I agree. Like I said, I think the argument for that is the best trilogies that have been made started out as I'm going to make one movie, and then people go, "This did so good, and the world you have built is rich. Write the second one." And they go, "I get to do the second one, and I'm getting a bigger budget. Perfect. We're going to go all out." And in fact, I think I can get three for you. And they go, perfect. That's more money for us. So, but it's when they come in planned like, oh, we need to do three movies for this, or we definitely need to. No matter what, we're going to split one of the books into two movies, and it's probably going to be the last one, so we can capitalize on that fame one more time. Nah,
Well, I'm not even necessarily like I think that the Deathly Hollows, like Harry Potter, I think that needed to be two movies to properly tell the end of the story.
and while Deathly Hallows Part One is kind of disappointing because it's a little boring because it's just Harry Potter and the extended camping trip, and the big battle happens in the second one, it still is its own movie. It works just fine on its own. It has a beginning, a middle, and a goddamn end. That's there we go. That's my problem with Rebel Moon. It has a beginning and a middle.
Yeah.
It has a great beginning. Actually, the beginning was the setup was solid. I immediately felt immersed into a world that they told me absolutely nothing about. They did not spoon feed my ass anything. They give you a little bit of an opening crawl, just like Star Wars, and you're like, okay, I'm engaged, I'm prepped. Sort of get it. There's bad guys. The king is dead. Empire, cool.
See, but want to know when I immediately became disengaged? As soon as the, I guess I'll call him the big bad, like he left the planet and left those soldiers, and as soon as that one guy started being like an Uber dick, that's when I was like, I don't know how necessary that you needed to make this for him to be like an
They,
Uber asshole for no reason. Like I get story wise they were trying to establish that like ultimately that one kid was gonna flip on them. But it's like I don't know, like it didn't hit for me.
I will say, I think the reason, I think there's a specific reason for that. They had to make him a bigger dick because you could see his face. Star Wars, it works that you can kill all the drones of the Empire because you don't see their face. They're just the evil face of an evil empire. They all got helmets on. They all look the same. It's easier to kill them, and it's easier to justify to your audience that, oh yeah, you got to shoot those guys. Can't you see they're all wearing the bad guys' uniforms? They're bad guys. But because you could actually, they humanized the bad guys in this a little bit. You could see their face. They had to go overly far with these are pricks who deserve to die so that when you watch the main character murder the fuck out of them, you root for her.
Mm, it just didn't hit for me.
Again, I think I think that seems like the Zack Snyder way of thinking that he was doing. He goes, "Oh,
But
you got
like
to be
like
able to justify killing the shit out of them."
but you're spoon feeding me the reason. I don't want I want to be spoon fed the reason.
And I think they had
Like
plenty
I
enough.
think there was enough justification as to why they were the bad guys when that dude killed the leader of the
I
village.
believe, yeah,
There
that's what I
was
was gonna say.
no reason. What I was after that, there was no reason for that other fucking Brock Lesnar Walmart looking motherfucker to be like that big
That's
of
perfect.
look like a Walmart Brock Lesnar for him to be that much of a prick. You know what I mean? Like it just didn't hit for me.
I think he was just trying to get some nice revenge porn in there, basically, going, "Hey, this guy's an asshole, and he's gonna get what's coming to him,"
Yeah,
and he did.
again, it just didn't hit for me.
But again, the choreography of that scene where she murders all of them in a barn was fantastic.
Like yeah, like the fight scene was great and everything. Just the lead up to it, I just kind of didn't. uh,
It didn't sit right with you.
It just didn't hit for me.
Mm, yeah.
Like I could have lived without it. Like
You didn't.
the story would and I get that the whole point was like because she needed a reason to actually fight for the village and da
She
da
needed
da
a
da
push.
da. But even then like through the whole thing like I never felt connect like even with her whole like when they go back and they're like oh her backstory is that this dude came and destroyed her whole planet murdered the fuck out of everyone kidnapped her and then like made him his daughter like I didn't even feel bad you know what I mean like I was like oh that sucks I guess you know what I mean like I did not feel connected enough to her to be like oh man that really sucks I can't wait till she kills all these people you know what I mean
I guess I get what you mean. I didn't have the same reaction as you. I thought that they actually did establish the uh she was kidnapped, uh what is it, the Stockholm syndrome, brainwashed into being the perfect best soldier of the thing that destroyed her, which is always, I mean, it's very tropey when it comes to empires and sons and daughters, but I thought it was a well done version of that. I think they're going to give us a little bit more backstory again on the second one, and it might be even more interesting. But I thought that was actually one of the few things about her character that was handled well. Was that I'm like, oh no, she is an ultimate weapon because she was so traumatized that
Like,
she did it
if
everything
I'm
she
being
was supposed to
honest,
do.
the only part that really hit for me that I was like got really into was the first stop they made when they picked up that prince dude who fucking flew Buckbeak. I don't know what I don't know what you want me to call him.
It was
He's
definitely
a,
it was something kind of hypocrite. I'm with you. And then actually, you're right. I had more hate for the villain in that one, the asshole slaver dude
right,
who was
because it
on screen for
wasn't.
all of 7 minutes.
And it's because like you got that he was a fucking asshole about it, but like it
He
wasn't.
didn't have to spoon feed. Ooh, let me rape a child.
Yeah,
Excuse me, R word, a child. Uh, but yeah, no, you got that. You're like, oh, that prick deserves to die, and he's totally gonna get. It's totally gonna get it. You're like, but when's it gonna happen? That was the best part about the scene. She's like, so when's this guy gonna die? All right, he's definitely going to. How are they gonna do it?
yeah,
And I like they did it. I also kind of like that they did it off screen. They didn't give him the dignity of an on-screen death. You're like, no, you're just dead, and you deserved it.
yeah,
Let's get on the ship and go, guys.
yeah. But other than that, like I, I didn't feel myself rooting for any of the characters.
The way I would say they sort of got me with the twist too at the end, sort of.
You knew something was up with that guy the whole time.
Yeah, but I didn't realize that was what was up. Like I said, that's why I said they sort of got me. I'm like, I didn't trust the dude from the beginning, but I didn't know how it was going to go wrong. I knew it was going to go wrong, but I couldn't tell how it was going to go
Like
wrong.
the only like, and I also didn't like how they conveniently made it that these would be her companions while spoon feeding you the him being like, "Oh yeah, well I figured I could turn in this bounty and while I'm at it like capture a few other of these motherfucker, you ain't that smart. There's no way."
You know, he was
Because if you knew where all these people were the whole time, why didn't you just fucking turn them in?
because he saw her fight and he needed somebody. He knew that he could use her to either fight them and subdue them or use her leverage to who she is in order to get them to come peacefully so he didn't have to fight them and then he could do his whole big turncoat at the end. I like I said, it makes sense,
It just
but it was really just
it
setting
didn't.
Sam.
I just didn't buy it. I just didn't buy it. I'm sorry, but I didn't.
You thought he looked too dumb to do that?
I didn't think he looked too dumb to do that. I just didn't like. I don't know. I just wasn't buying the whole because again, like obviously you knew how to contact the big baddies. Obviously they have like a real big army. So like I'm not buying that, oh, you needed her to
Yeah, but
break the walls down to like because at the end of the day if you knew where these people were and you went and told them like
no, because he doesn't get the money for that. That's not how bounty hunting works. If he calls them in and they capture the guy, they go, "Thanks for that. We captured the guy. You're lucky we don't kill you. Have a great day. Bye."
mm,
That's that is 100% how that Imperium works too. They were gonna they were gonna kill everybody in that village regardless. Even if they had given them all the food they had right then,
well that's
they
what
were gonna
she was
kill.
saying.
They again. That's how it works. So yeah,
Ah, well anyway,
I don't know.
I'm over it. Uh
We'll see what happens with part two. It comes out next spring.
extra bit.
Bits.
So I found this really funny story of a guest that's been banned from Disney after their real stupid attempt to break the rules. So
Give me the breakdown.
it obviously Disney lets you bring in snacks, they let you bring in water,
Yeah, they're
other
surprisingly good about
drinks.
that.
What they don't let you do is bring in alcoholic beverages.
They just now started selling those in the park, let alone
Well,
letting you
selling
bring
them
them
at
in.
Magic Kingdom,
Oh yeah,
but. I don't. I think they were going to Hollywood. I don't remember what park they were going to. If I'm being quite honest with you, and I mean, I get it. You don't want to you want to like drink and have a good time, but you don't want to pay the exorbitant Disney prices. In that case, just pre-game before you go to the park. I don't know what to tell you. So what they decided to do is, the little like balls, like they look like Christmas ornament, but
Oh,
it's
like
an
the
alcohol.
cocktail balls, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't think of what it's called. So this girl figured out that it will fit kinda inside a Pringles can. So they got three different types of like Pringle cans, took the chips out, and shoved the things
In the
in the
Pringles can.
can.
Okay.
Um,
Pretty smart.
thinking, yeah, it's gonna set the thing off, but they're gonna go, oh, Pringles can, I get it. Uh, I don't know if you know this, but those caps are clear.
They didn't even try and leave the foil in the top just to trick them.
They
There's
did
there's
not.
foil on the top. You literally just lay that back down and put the lid on it. They'd assume that it was a sealed package.
Or you just put the chips on top. Yeah, they didn't. They didn't do that. So when they went through security and security checked their stuff, they found the.
Hey, that's not chips. I mean, it would have felt weird anyway picking it up, but you at least gotta try and trick them.
Yep. So they've been unclear at the time this story was posted if it's a temporary ban, lifetime ban.
I hope it's a lifetime ban from all Disney parks.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I was just like,
Nah, Disney will probably do a temporary ban because they want their money again eventually.
I mean, I don't know. They didn't hurt anybody, and they didn't fight security on it when like they got caught. So they probably only got a temporary
They got
ban,
banned.
like
They
to
got
get.
banned for the day. I figured they would have just confiscated and said, "Go, all
Oh
right."
no, their entire trip they,
Cool.
yeah,
No refunds either. I'm assuming.
because it's not so. If Disney thinks you made a like oopsie, like oh shit, I'm so sorry, I forgot that was in my backpack, they'll usually let you go. But this was like an obvious attempt to. And I know this from personal experience because one time, a bunch of friends and we were going to Disneyland. The day before we did non-Disneyland stuff, I forgot that I was in charge of the flask and I had a flask in my backpack. The next day when we went to Disney, obviously I got stopped and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm really sorry. I swear I totally forgot that was in my backpack. Take it, dump it, keep the flask. I don't care. You do what you need to do." Um they actually just made me dump it out in the trash can and I
Yeah.
got to keep my
Oh, let's keep
flask.
the flask. That's nice.
Um so like yeah, if they can tell that it was an oopsie accident, I didn't mean to, they'll usually like confiscate it or something like that. But like this was a blatant obvious attack to blatant
Attempt
obvious attempt to break the rules.
to
Like it
smuggle
wasn't
stuff
like
in.
a oh fuck, I'm so sorry type thing.
It's like when they kick you off a cruise for trying to smuggle in booze.
Yeah. Just don't do it.
It's just not smart.
Just don't do it.
It's not worth it.
So that was my story.
People are dumb.
Shackery.
People are real fucking dumb. Speaking of people being real fucking dumb, this is my favorite new dumb internet conspiracy because there's no way it holds up. There's no basis to it, and it's the dumbest thing in the world. But it's funny, and you know it can't be true because Aaron Rodgers spouted about it on the Pat McAfee show, and that
It's
guy has
just
gone absolutely fucking nuts. So the conspiracy is that
hold on. Let me. I got chat. I gotta.
conspiracize for me. All right, get ready for this. There we
All
go.
right, I'm ready.
You ready? This is going to chap your ass a little bit. No, so the conspiracy is obviously it's comes from the main conspiracy that the NFL is scripted. You've heard that, of course, that
Yeah, it's been running around for a
yeah,
while.
that the NFL is scripted. Well, one of the pieces of evidence they have for that the NFL is definitely scripted is the last 2 years. Notice they don't go any farther back than the last 2 years. But the last 2 years, the logos for the Super Bowl, which are released before the season starts, have had the colors of the two teams that competed in the Super Bowl in the logo. Yeah, crazy, right? Actually, yeah, you can look it up right now. But so it's Super Bowl. We're this year's Super Bowl 58. So Super Bowl 57 was in Miami, and so definitely having the colors most associated with the city of Miami, which are teal and pink, which is pretty much half the architecture. But the two teams that played in Miami, green for the Eagles and red for the Chiefs. The year before that
Is Bengals
was
Chargers
orange
and
and
yellow.
yellow,
Uh-huh.
Bengals Chargers. And this year, so the conspiracy is and
It's San Francisco, Baltimore because
red and purple.
red and purple.
And so people are gonna freak out if Baltimore and San Francisco, who have been the two
Who
most
are the
dominant,
two number one seeds in the
who
NFC and AFC?
I'm just saying, little suspect, but obviously not fucking true. Uh,
Where where did the where was Super Bowl 50?
SoFi, I believe, the one with the Chargers and the Bengals,
Yeah, I was trying to think cuz like
I believe it was
I
Los
get your
Angeles.
Miami thing. Oh, can we go back further? I want to see
I'm sure you
more.
can, but
Oh, there we go. This is what I wanted.
oh, did you find a list of all of them?
Yeah, hang on.
Oh wow, actually, I haven't even seen this. No, I can't see it though. Shit.
Yeah, I'll hang on. I'll put it in
Can you throw that in the
Discord.
Discord for me real quick? You're so sweet.
I'm gonna need that later anyway. I'll share it in the show notes so you can all get on.
That is literally the one that I put.
Is it the same?
It's the exact same
Oh,
one.
did I do the wrong link?
I think you might have because you
Oh
just
shit!
sent the
Hold
one.
on, that's the wrong link.
You
Yep,
just sent the one I
my bad.
shared you.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm
She's
having
she's supposed to be our producer, y'all. She's normally very good at this.
here. Try that one.
This one. Let's see this. Visit the site. 1000logos.net.
Okay, yeah. So if you actually pull up the logos and let's just look at the last 2 years, right? So now that it's blown up, um, the orange and yellow makes sense because if you look, you can actually see the palm trees in the logo because you said it took place in Vegas, right?
No, Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Um, last year was it in Miami or was it in
Miami.
Arizona?
I thought it was Miami. Was it Miami? No, I can't remember. This was Miami.
Oh, we're doing really good.
We're so good at this.
Hey Google, where did Super Bowl 57 take place?
State Farm Stadium.
And that is where. Hey Google, where is State Farm Stadium located?
The address for State Farm Stadium
Is
Arizona.
okay, Arizona. So now,
Oh, it is Arizona.
thank you. So now if you look at the logo for last year, you can see the like bluish green, which would be the sky, and then the
The
red
Mesas, yeah.
is yeah. And now if you look at this year's logo, it's taking place in Vegas, and that looks like hotels and
It's literally the Las
casinos
Vegas
and
sign on it. It's literally the Las Vegas sign on it.
so I think they just got more fun with their logos.
Yeah, because if you go back, they really like
Look boring
even
as shit.
51 is red and silver, 52 is blue and silver, or light blue and silver, 53 is dark blue and silver, and 54 is turquoise and silver.
Yeah, and then like going back, like they just got fun with it. I mean, not that they haven't always been fun. I'm like looking at these logos, and they have definitely had some really exciting, super fun colors.
All right, let's
But
see. Super Bowl 32. Yeah, see, so Super Bowl 31, I believe, was played in New Orleans, so that's why it looks like that. 32 was played in, I want to say, it was played against it, Atlanta. No, against Green Bay. It was Broncos Green Bay. But yeah, no, it doesn't hold up. That's what I was telling you, is it doesn't hold up at all in the past. But what they're saying is it's now it's officially scripted. Now that somebody's trying to give hints
because
to
if you
everyone.
actually look at this, so the
It's a conspiracy. It's not actually accurate.
right, but like there also appears to be two different logos. The one that you posted in the article you shared definitely has like purples and pinks, but if you look at it on the link that I sent, it's actually all blue with gold trim.
Purple to me.
Purple, blue, but there's no red in there.
Not really, no.
So that's bullshit. So I call bullshit.
Again, I told you it was a dumb conspiracy theory that has absolutely no merit in truth. And I can guarantee you that because Aaron Rodgers believes it.
Yeah, but
So
you know, I guess I get in rabbit holes.
I understand. But yeah, so that's my favorite new fake conspiracy theory. It goes that and then the flat earth.
Well, the 8-Bit Cat Show usually comes out on Fridays, except when it doesn't. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, rate, review, do the things. You can find us on Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. We haven't actually twitched in a year. So we're coming up on the 1 year mark since the
It's
last
been almost
time.
exactly a year. We did
Yeah,
it
since
for
we
we did it
tried
for
to.
Valentine's Day last year.
So yeah, well, we had cable internet problems and things, so I don't know. Maybe we'll get that sorted out sometime. But it's there in case you are curious. And until next time, my friends, geek out, be fabulous, and have fun.
Do it.
Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/8bitcats, where you'll also get tons of extra benefits like exclusive content, including content featuring these guys. You can also like and subscribe to us on YouTube, and we are on a variety of podcast apps, including Apple, iTunes, Spotify, and Audible. So patreon.com/8bitcats.
Oh my god, he's destroying things. He's destroying me.